Guys, Williams-Brice Stadium here in Columbia. We welcome you to the SEC on ESPN on ABC, presented by Burger King. Number 4, Alabama. Boy, they've accomplished more in the last 4 weeks than any team against a fired-up South Carolina squad. And pregame here, you know, Jesse Palmer, between Space Odyssey and now Sandstorm, they're always ready for moments like this. South Carolina won the toss. They elect to receive. And that means Nick Harbor, the track star, but the coverage there to meet him before the 20-yard line. Jesse, what do you see in LaNorris Sellers?
Well, he's the best athlete on the field at 6'3", 240 pounds. Pass blocking has been a major issue this year, and it's affected his statistics, Joe, but he still shows first-round talent on plays like this. 27 yards after contact, avoiding the sack, and then against Missouri, 3rd and 37. The pass rush forces him outside. He keeps his vision downfield, outruns everybody, and throws an absolute dime to Nick Harbor, just short of the first down marker. You feel like if South Carolina is going to win this game, they're going to need him to make superhuman plays.
The concern is 25 sacks taken this year. Sellers on first down. He goes to the outside. He was trying to connect with Jacobs. Impact players are built by Home Depot.
Well, it starts with South Carolina and their ability to run the football. Rossell Faison's a really tough runner in between the tackles. Vandravius Jacobs, I think, is their best route runner. He'll be big on third down. L.T. Overton and Yanze Pierre both playing at a very high level. Pierre, 3 sacks in their last game against the Volunteers.
Sellers on second down as he goes to Faison. And coming out of the backfield, he gets ahead for 4.5 yards. Right. Tackled by Lawson.
So, Joe, you mentioned Norris Sellers being sacked 25 times this year, and it's on plays like this, third down. This offensive line has been really porous. They've had guys injured. They're playing a true freshman at left guard. They have got to do a better job keeping number 16 upright to give him an opportunity to throw it downfield.
3rd down and 4. Sellers, flag is down as it's incomplete beyond Van Jacobs.
It's going to be James Smith jumping offside for Alabama.
Offside. Defense, number 23. In the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Remember, it was 3rd down and 4, so first down for South Carolina.
And that's a big win for them early, and just staying on the field, Joe. I think to avoid the 3rd and long situations, they just got to have success. Whether it's throwing it or whether it's running it on 1st and 2nd down, they've got to keep 3rd downs manageable in this one.
Faison as he is tripped up, and we say hello to Katie George.
Well, Tess, yesterday, LaNorris Sellers sat across from us, and he said, I am the eraser. He said, if there's a protection bust, I have to make it right. He said, if someone doesn't run the right route or falls down, I have to get through my progressions and make a play. He said, it is my job to make something happen. And boy, if he makes something happen today, you know this crowd's going to love it.
This crowd loves this most of all, when he can make a little magic with his legs. Finally taken down by Overton.
Well, there's a good example of it. We talked about Yanze Pierre being an impact player. This time he loops inside, and that gives Sellers an opportunity to just break this contain. And as soon as he sees that green grass at 240 pounds, he is so hard to tackle. He's been sacked 25 times this year, Joe. It easily could be 50. If it weren't for the athleticism of their quarterback.
Yeah, everybody who watches the film on Sellers in this offense makes that comment. 25, he gets them out of trouble. Could be much, much worse. They split out wide on 3rd and 1. Sellers is going to take it himself and easily has the first down, and then drives a few Alabama defenders towards midfield. So the offensive line issues this year. Listen, they had an offensive line coach that was unfortunately dismissed. They played 9 different players, Jesse.
Listen, if you're just being honest, and I'm not trying to be overly critical, but this is the worst offensive line in the SEC. And injuries, true freshmen, different lineups. Nobody can block and pass rush up front, and they struggle with the blitz.
Saw Sean Elliott, the new offensive line coach, as he's able to connect with Faison here, who makes would-be tackler miss, and it's a first down inside the 40 for South Carolina.
And here's the thing. All those things are true. They've had 5 different starting lineups up front. But, Joe, the numbers are what they are. They've given up the second most sacks in the country. They're the worst rushing offense in the SEC, and they've had more false start penalties than any other offensive line in football. It just has not been good, but they are off to a pretty good start in this one so far.
7th play of the drive. This is Fuller who takes it ahead for a gain of 8.
That's a nice little wrinkle, taking Matt Fuller, who's got really good speed. He's a running back, and fans will remember his 72-yard touchdown run against LSU a few weeks back, giving him a jet sweep. I think running the ball today, it's not just going to be running backs in between the tackles. I think it's going to be a little LaNorris Sellers, and I think they're going to have to get other guys involved as well on jet plays like that, being creative.
Second and 2, quick to the outside, but it was thrown low and in front of Nick Harbor.
Well, it's a good job that time of Sellers seeing the safety blitz of Xavier Mincy coming in, but he needs a more accurate throw. And that would be one of my bigger criticisms of LaNorris Sellers this year. Yes, he is the best athlete on the field. He makes wow first-round type throws, but on throws like that, there are times where he misses wide-open guys, and because of the incompletion, that's what's resulting in them getting behind the sticks.
Opening drive for South Carolina. 8 plays, 50 yards in, but can they convert here on 3rd and 2? Sellers with time. And now Sellers is going to run ahead for that line to gain and reaches out and is able to get it before Nakai Hill-Green makes the tackle.
Well, really nice job in the back end by Alabama, taking everything away, but Sellers just really good awareness and understanding, hey, where's the first down marker and where do I have to get to? In that time, he outraces Nakai Hill-Green, the transfer from Colorado, a linebacker, to move the sticks.
Sellers again, quarterback run, but they waited on him, and Hill-Green made the tackle after a gain of just 1.
Yeah, that's an RPO, and a good job by Alabama, again in coverage, not allowing Sellers to throw it, and you got to be impressed with Nakai Hill-Green. He comes over from Colorado. He has been a tackling machine. They've been running about a 3-man rotation at linebacker with Justin Jefferson, Deontay Lawson, but Nakai Hill-Green has made a lot of plays for this defense as well.
He was all Big 12 before he moved over to Tuscaloosa. Second and 9. Sellers, he's able to connect for a first down again. It's Donovan Murph, the freshman.
I love the play call by offensive coordinator Mike Shula, moving the pocket, changing the launch point. Again, this offensive line has struggled, so this is a great way to give Sellers a clear place at the field to throw from and give him clear vision. And how about Donovan Murph, the true freshman, making that big play? He should be a senior in high school, Joe. He was only 17 years old at the start of the season, reclassified to be a part of the Gamecocks this season.
15-yard reception. Now the 12th play of this opening drive. They wanted the ball, and this is what they're doing with it, as Matt Fuller again coming in motion on the jet action, takes it inside the 10.
And this is an area where South Carolina has struggled. They're the worst red zone offense in the SEC, only scoring points on 73% of these possessions inside the 20-yard line. They haven't had many of them, honestly, this season, but what an opportunity here to score points. Not just that, but a touchdown. You know, if they do that on the opening drive to seize that momentum, Williams-Brice Stadium will erupt.
Second and 6. They can get a first down at the 2-yard line. Fuller probing that Alabama defense and dives ahead inside the 5, tackled by Hill-Green.
I just feel like when you get in this area, inside the 5-yard line, you've got a quarterback that's 240 pounds. You can just take advantage of the scheme, use an extra blocker, and just let the best athlete that you've got go get it done. And to me, if you're Shane Beamer, if you don't get it here on 3rd and 2, I'm going for it on 4th down. I'm being aggressive because of number 16.
110th in red zone touchdown percentage, but can they solve the riddle early on against Bama on this opening drive? 3rd and 2. Faison. He is tackled for a loss by Smith.
Here comes that fourth down decision for Shane Beamer. Looks like he's going to decide to play it safe and kick a field goal. Now, they were very aggressive in their last game against Oklahoma. They went for it on fourth down 4 different times in the first half. I think he's just looking to pay this drive off, score some points, and try and seize on as much momentum as you can early.
So William Joyce, a 6-year player, but his first year as the starter. Stuck around the program, looking for it to pay off this year. To open up the scoring here on this beautiful Saturday afternoon in Columbia, South Carolina. 24-yard field goal. Ty Simpson, many have him as the Heisman frontrunner. He is out there to start his afternoon when we return.
The College Football Playoff begins December 19th and concludes with the National Championship January 19th on ESPN.
AT&T Connected Cam, all the great traditions of a Southern Saturday in the SEC here in Columbia, South Carolina. Homecoming weekend. They're trying to rally with some great hope considering the talent they have at quarterback, the belief they have in their defense, and they just had a 15-play opening drive against number 4 Alabama to take a field goal lead. The recent stretch for Alabama has been incredible, Jesse, and with it, Ty Simpson against the 4-ranked SEC teams. Look at his numbers.
Yeah, I know. I think in the last 6 games, he's playing at a Heisman level. The decision-making, the accuracy, playing on time, playing off schedule, it's been remarkable. He leads the conference in passing touchdowns. He's the most efficient quarterback in the conference. And Joe, I think he's starting to make the case to potentially be the first overall pick, whether that's in next year's NFL draft or the year after.
So the conversation has leaped a far way from where we started it in Tallahassee. So after the kick went out of bounds, they take over at the 35-yard line, and Jam Miller, who last week had some struggle starts at running back, but Jeremy Bernard has been getting carries. He led the team in rushing with 49 yards on 4 rushes last week. Let's look at the impact players.
Yeah, Ryan Williams and his explosive playmaking at receiver, Jeremy Bernard and his versatility, you'll see them line up all over the field. Dylan Stewart for South Carolina is an elite pass rusher coming off the edge, and to me, he's their biggest one-on-one matchup advantage in this entire game. He has got to play great today.
Left last week's game and has been dealing with a hip pointer, but was able to practice unaffected all week long. 2nd and 6. Jam Miller tackled after a gain of 2. Katie.
Yeah, Tess, I was able to speak with Dylan Stewart pregame, and he said he feels really good as of today. He said, I'm not hindered in any way. He called it just a little bruise, and he said his job today is to disrupt that backfield with Ty Simpson in it.
There's a moment now, Katie, where you can hear, what is it, about 85,000 people here in Williams-Brice Stadium, Joe?
I think there are another 85,000 tailgating outside,
right,
too. It is a scene here this weekend. 3rd down and 4. Simpson. He is tripped up. He was taken down by Brian Thomas, who came in leading the team with 4 sacks.
And such a smart play by Brian Thomas, because he's going to rush up the field trying to get around Caden Proctor, but he just gets to the level where the quarterback is, then he's able to retrace when Ty Simpson decides to take off and run. This is such a big win for South Carolina, Joe, because Alabama scored touchdowns on their opening drive 5 times this year. It's more than any other team in the country. So starting fast for South Carolina on offense and on D.
Macari Swain is one of the most dangerous punt returners in the country. Dowd's punt drives him all the way back to the 7. But look at what Swain can do. He has 3 punt return touchdowns on the year, and he nearly made the most on that. The dynamic Lenoris Sellers back out there on offense when we return to Williams-Brice Stadium. This matchup, everybody goes back to what happened in 2010. That's when South Carolina beat number 1 Alabama, and HBC Jesse was here today. Steve Spurrier, as the team is being honored, celebrating the 15th reunion. Also, many great players on that team.
They had 7 sacks on defense in that game. Steven Garcia, Alshon Jeffrey, Marcus Lattimore were all great offensively. I was asking my old coach, Steve Spurrier, on the field before the game. I said, where does that win against Alabama here in South Carolina rank for you all time in college? And he said, well, we didn't win any championships championships here in South Carolina, but he goes, he put that in his top 10.
Nobody does better Spurs.
I mean, you think of all the SEC titles and the national championship he won at Florida. That's big praise.
Here's Sellers, their second drive of the afternoon as he goes to check down the face on. Wow! It is a turnover. Jones returns it for the Tide. It went from a simple check down to roll Tide roll. Deshaun Jones, and it's a touchdown, Bama.
Russell Faison just had a hard time handling the football in the flat. It pops right up into the air into Deshaun Jones's hands. I thought he might fall over. His linebacker, Justin Jefferson, number 10 there, helps keep him up on his feet. He gets incredible help from his teammate to stay up, and that's just not a turnover inside the red zone. That becomes a massive pick six.
Can you believe that? Sellers opens the game coming all the way down the field. Their defense does the job, and in one moment, and a bounce of the ball, hello, end zone, Deshaun Jones.
Welcome back to Columbia, South Carolina. Going back to looking at the pick six, you got Deontay Lawson coming in on a blitz, so Sellers has to get rid of this, and he has Russell Faison out on a swing route. This is a ball he's got to be able to catch. It pops right up in the air into the hands of Deshaun Jones. Justin Jefferson keeps him upright, and you just figure for South Carolina in a game like this, as you look at the progressive pylon cam, you can't turn it over. The margin of error is so small. Turnovers is what killed South Carolina. In this exact game a year ago, they had 4 giveaways in that one and a costly turnover early here.
It was a wild one a year ago. Right now it's Bama 7-3. And of course, Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One will be number 3 Texas A&M taking on number 20 LSU. Chris Kirk-and-Holly will have the call. And at 7:45 on the SEC Network, it's number 17 Tennessee against Kentucky. Of course, we were with LSU a week ago. What happened at Vandy, and now having to go there to Kyle Field, Jesse.
Yeah, well, they're reeling right now. And Texas A&M, though, going into Tiger Stadium tonight, that's a place they haven't won 6 games in a row. You know it's going to be rocking.
Matt Fuller trying to get around the edge, but instead it's Pierre able to take him down for a loss.
And Yanze Pierre, we know what he did against Tennessee as a pass rusher, but this is a great job setting the edge here outside, working on the tackle, Tree Babalade. Right here, this is the matchup. You're not going to let people run outside if you can hold that edge. He extends his arms, and he's able to get off and make an unbelievable play. Number 42 for Alabama, really coming on here in recent weeks.
You mentioned the Tennessee game, 3 sacks in that victory last week. They go inside this time. Big brother to little brother. That was Lenoris to Jaden Sellers, the true freshman who they call Pup.
Have you ever seen the movie Twins?
Yes.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. Yeah. That's kind of like Lenoris Sellers, 6'3", 240, and his little brother Jaden, 5'11", 175. I know they're not twins, but they also don't really look like brothers when they stand beside.
We were sitting with Lenoris yesterday. I said 175. He goes, he's not 175. He's a small guy. 3rd down and 4 after Jaden goes for 9 yards. Sellers on 3rd down. And that was denied at the last possible second that time by Deontay Lawson, as Brady Hunt was the intended target.
Well, that was a little cat and mouse game that time by Alabama with Lenoris Sellers. It looked like Alabama was going to come on an all-out blitz right here, and then Lenoris Sellers audibles, changes the play, and then they back out. There's 8 guys in coverage, nobody open, nowhere to go with the football if you're Sellers.
Mason Love on to punt away. The steady hands of the reliable Cole Adams, the return man for Bama. And this is driven outside the numbers, and the fair catch near the 20-yard line. Well, we mentioned to you last year was an absolutely wild one down there in T-Town as Alabama just got past them 27-25. Final minute, look at the toe tap by Nick Harbor, and then the spinning drop kick onside attempt. So South Carolina had a shot, but in in the end. Damani Jackson, the interception, and the Tide escaped. Top 10 Alabama escaped 27-25. 7-3 lead, but the offense has only had 3 plays, a 3 and out. It was a pick 6 that got Bama on the board here. Ty Simpson steps up in the pocket. He's going deep. And beyond Ryan Williams.
Wow, barely beyond Ryan Williams, who got behind Judge Collier that time. And Ty Simpson had to step up in the pocket. He had Brian Thomas ripping off the edge. He saw the opportunity one-on-one here to take a shot. Here comes the pressure. Proctor just rides him upfield as much as he can. And this just barely over the outstretched arms of one of the fastest and most explosive players on offense in all of college football.
Williams had 5 catches for 87 yards a week ago, after we didn't see him offensively play a role in that game against Mizzou. Simpson gets the ball out quickly and connects with Rico Scott.
Well, this is just what South Carolina wants to do on defense. Is they're going to make you earn it. They play a lot of zone coverage. They're dropping 6 and 7 guys back there, trying to keep the football in front of them. They want to rally to the ball, make tackles, and they want to force Alabama to go 8, 10, 12 plays to score.
3rd and 4. Daniel Hill at 244 pounds motions back in. Simpson on 3rd down. It's incomplete. The redshirt freshman Scott couldn't hold on to it.
Well, you don't see Ty Simpson miss a lot like this. And this time they've got Rico Scott, who caught a touchdown against Tennessee, working in the slot one-on-one with Jalen Kilgore. And he's got to step on him, and this is a throw Ty Simpson's got to be able to make the catch. He's going to turn it upfield and move the sticks. But 2 3 and outs for this Alabama offense that has looked so good here in the last 6 games.
Swain, the dangerous return man. 2 3 and outs for Alabama. And he's going to field it off the bounce and then be wrestled down just beyond the 20-yard line.
Well, you had to like what South Carolina did on their opening drive. I think it was a good job of mixing up the run and the pass, and they ran the football in a variety of ways, too. There's a little bit of Lenoir Sellers in between the tackles on a designed QB run. And then you get the running back, Matt Fuller, involved on some jet sweeps to get to the outside. I love the idea of moving the pocket. You're trying to do things to help Sellers out against the pass rush. They got down close on 3rd down and 2 near the goal line. They had a negative play, which backed him up a little bit, and Shane Beamer didn't feel comfortable going for it, but they got the points early. This offense now trying to recapture that rhythm they had in that opening drive.
Faison straight ahead as he gashes that front 7, and that'll move the chains immediately. Tackled by Sabb.
Well, they've handed it off a few times to Matt Fuller on the jet motion. This time he's coming this way, and they're just trying to freeze players in the second level. They don't hand it off to him this time. The offensive line does a good job getting downfield. You see Babalade getting a block there at right tackle, and a huge crease for the Utah State transfer and 7th-year running back Faison to run into.
Anything that brings this offensive line a little bit of momentum and confidence will help for South Carolina today. And there was some movement.
False start. Offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
That's Boaz Stanley, the transfer from Troy at center. And you see Sean Elliott, he's the new offensive line coach. This has been driving him nuts a little bit because Boaz Stanley's a very versatile guy. He's played center, guard, and tackle throughout his career, but that's now his 7th false start penalty on the season.
He's got a little bit of a hitch moving the ball pre-snap, and it has cost them with some penalties as they look to set things up to Faison, who keeps his balance, and here he goes. What a chunk play for the Gamecocks.
I think the running back screen has probably been the most successful play in the passing game for South Carolina this year. That time they're able to leap Faison out of the backfield, and it's Nikhai Hill-Green trying to chase him down. This is just a one-on-one situation right there. And Faison just shows the speed. Good throw by Sellers out in front. He's able to break the tackle. And there's just green grass for an explosive play for South Carolina.
33 yards for Rasul Faison. Sellers, as the ball is out. And they're going to rule this incomplete. As Dingle never put it away.
Second down.
Well, Bray Hubbard came flying in that time to knock that away. The safety for Alabama. And Joe, I think he's been the MVP on defense for Alabama this year. He's always around the football. Just puts his helmet right into the chest of Dingle, knocks the ball loose. You know, in 13 starts, Bray Hubbard has 6 picks.
Wow.
He's forced 2 fumbles. I mean, just a turnover machine. He's made a big difference on the back end for Ben.
We had a good discussion with Kane Womack, the defensive coordinator, about him. He says, listen, in terms of just analyzing a play, going and making a play, I think he's Alabama's best football player. 2nd and 10. Sellers backed all the way up to the 48, directing traffic, and then run out just near the line of scrimmage by Justin Jefferson.
You know, and I just wonder if LaNorris Sellers had an opportunity here maybe to make a throw down the boundary. He's going to roll out this way, but when you look down to the right of the screen, there's 2 defenders that now attack right here. And there's a receiver right here wide open for him to throw it to. I think he just gave up a little bit too early on that.
3rd down on 9. 2 out of 4 today on 3rd down. Sellers, the crossing route just eaten up as Justin Jefferson makes a huge hit on Donovan Murph.
And I think you got to go now if you're South Carolina, because you're kind of in that no man's land right now on 4th down, right? It's maybe a little too long for a field goal. You're obviously not going to punt down here at around the 30. Great job holding on to the football that time to make this 4th down manageable. And decision time here for Shane Beamer.
Well, he'll have the end of the 1st quarter to figure things out. They're on the go, trailing 7-3. The SEC on ABC, presented by Burger King.
On the sidelines with Shane Beamer. Shane, big 4th down coming up. What will you decide to do?
I think we're going to kick the field goal. It's, you know, I like the way our defense is playing right now. We got it to the quarter where we were able to flip in, so where we got the wind at our back now. I don't want to jinx him by saying that, but, you know, it's one of those, we're playing pretty good.
No, you never know with Beamer ball what they do with special teams. Often see the fakes. We'll see if they open up this 2nd quarter with a field goal attempt from William Joyce, and they do, and Joyce sends it just off to the right.
Hindsight's 20/20, obviously. I just think in a game like this, you need touchdowns, not field goals. And I do agree with what he just told Katie. His defense is absolutely playing lights out right now, and you're going to continue to lean on them, and they've been doing that all season long. But you know it's only a matter of time before Ty Simpson and this offense wakes up. And so, you know, it's easy to say this now, but as I was saying before break, I think that's one they should have tried to go for.
Yeah, that's the story right now. When will the Ty Simpson-led offense wake up? Because we're starting the 2nd quarter, and Alabama's had 6 plays, 2 3-and-outs. And tackled for a loss is Jeremy Bernard, as Dylan Stewart, one of the most dynamic edge rushers in all college football, makes the play.
Yeah, he is absolutely elite. He is so twitchy and can bend, and Josh Cuevas is going to try to block him, but he's actually going to run in to the tackle in the process right there. And Dylan Stewart is just a guy that can wreck your game plan. Offensive coordinators have got to account for this guy with chip blocks and sliding the protection. You got to move the pocket. He has freakish athleticism, and he can take the game over.
Alabama right now has 4 total yards. 2nd and 17. They go with Jam Miller on the delay, and Miller, as a flag is down, weaving his way through the Gamecocks defense, and then finally met beyond midfield by Pipes.
I think they're going to get Isaiah Horton at receiver for a hold on this play. I think this is coming back.
Offense, number 71. Penalty from the spot of the foul. Remains second down.
They call it on Cam Dewberry. He's the left guard right here inside. And he's going out in the second level. Just wraps his arms right around the linebacker. I think that was Sean Murphy, number 7 for South Carolina. I thought there might have been a holdout in the second level with Isaiah Horton too, but going backwards here in this drive. Obviously the negative play. And now a big holding penalty negates a great run by Jam Miller. Alabama's got to get it together.
Kalen DeBoer, talked to him this week. He understood exactly what the assignment would be about staying with all the momentum coming off with 4 wins in 4 straight weeks against 4 ranked teams. 2nd and 25. That is batted down by Monco Goodwine, the 6'4", 300-pounder.
And he's an Alabama transfer going against his old team, and just really good awareness by him stopping his rush. He split the double team right up the middle, and once he gets to this point, he just stops right there because he sees Ty Simpson's body language. Just going to hold on, knock this thing down, and now set up 3rd in California.
Goodwine blocked a punt against LSU last year, jumping over the shield, and now he bats this pass down to make for 3rd and 25. And listen to Williams-Brice roar. 3rd and 25 for Simpson as he connects with Horton, but he needed about 6 more yards, and a flag is down near that line to gain.
I don't know if South Carolina might have had 12 guys on the field. They had a late substitution with Judge Collier.
There is no foul on the play for a legal substitution on the defense. There was only 11 players on the field at the snap. 4th down.
We go back and look at that again. I thought I counted 12.
I did too, Jesse.
On the field. I'm gonna get up the trusty counter here and take a look at that because Collier's coming on late. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 11. Let's see, but Collier's coming on late though. I don't think we showed the substitution late. I think that was 12 guys. I know math wasn't my major. All right, can we just roll this? I want to know if 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 guys on the field. My Florida degree in math was coming in handy. That's one I think the referees missed. Like when I saw the late substitution and the way that the secondary rotated, that should have been a penalty on South Carolina's defense.
Well, they're looking at the same screen you saw on the defense. Shane Beamer, his 5th year with Gamecocks.
Okay, this is the most I've ever used the counter in a game in my life, just to make sure I'm not completely crazy.
After video review, there was 12 players on the field on defense. The 5-yard penalty for illegal substitution will be enforced from the 15-yard line. 5 yards, it'll be 3rd down.
Remember, it was 3rd and forever.
So here's a situation for Dylan Stewart, number 6 at defensive end. He's a guy that they like to line up against the right tackle. And the right tackle, that's been the problem area for Alabama all season long, whether it's Wilkin Formby or Michael Carroll. But Alabama has got to be careful they don't leave number 6 out on an island one-on-one on the edge.
There is Formby. That has been the side that has struggled. 3rd and 20 after the penalty for Ty Simpson. And breaking free is Daniel Hill. And Daniel Hill, the running back who's been emerging, takes it ahead for a 1st down. They get out of that giant hole.
It's a play Miles Norwood at corner has got to make. And I know it's hard because Hill is a 245-pound running back. He's not going to be an easy guy to bring down, but you've got to be able to make that stop and force the punt unit out on the field. What can you say, though, about the true sophomore Hill, Joe? In his last 2 games, he's getting more playing time. He's made some big runs, some big catches, been blocking on 3rd down. He's been earning those opportunities, and he's becoming a bigger part of Alabama's offense.
21 yards on what was 3rd and 20. Simpson trying to extend the play and then gets it complete to Ryan Williams.
I think this is one of the areas Ty Simpson has really shined this year, is off-schedule plays. He's trying to throw this thing to Ryan Williams, who's running a deep crossing route, and it's going to take him a very long time to clear through 3 different South Carolina defenders. You see how Ty Simpson, once he locates the target, he gets his feet set and makes a very accurate throw.
Pre-game, the two of us were standing down on this left side. He was throwing those corner routes accurately just a yard before the sideline. I turned to you, we both looked at each other and said, man, is he accurate. He showed it there. Hill back in at running back. Pressure off the edge, ball is out. The ball is out, strip sack, and South Carolina's got it. Troy Pikes with the recovery.
They brought the corner blitz. Bakari Swain, who we've seen return a couple punts in this game, comes off the edge with the speed. Caden Proctor saw him way too late. He's able to get the sack, knock it free. Troy Pikes jumps on it, and that was a turnover South Carolina's defense needed desperately.
A strip sack, forced fumble. You gotta have moments like this if you want to be in the big upset hunting game. South Carolina's defense does it up right here. Gamecocks with the ball, trailing 7-3 when we return. After the turnover, South Carolina back on offense on this SEC All Day presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts as Sellers gets it complete to Brady Hunt.
Yeah, Bama right now is just on their heels. And I think a big question coming into this thing was, could they keep their edge? Because they survived the gauntlet, beating 4 straight ranked opponents without a bye week. First team in SEC history to ever do that. But you couldn't have a letdown here on the road. And for Kalen DeBoer, his team's 1-4 against unranked opponents away from Bryant-Denny Stadium. They got their hands full right now.
Short pitch to Matt Fuller as the pursuit down the line came with Pierre and Jefferson for Alabama.
I think South Carolina offensively here is just trying to keep the rhythm and the flow going, and they're attacking in between the tackles. They're also trying to spit the football out wide in the perimeter, try and use their speed.
Second and 9, Sellers, he gets it in space and up and over that time is Brady Hunt.
It's a really good quick decision by LaNorris Sellers here on a zone read type play. He's reading Yanze Pierre right here, who's going to come in. As soon as he does, he knows he has to spit this football out into the flat. As soon as that pressure comes in, it's going to Hunt, the tight end underneath. He tries to go up and over Bray Hubbard.
And they are ruling him down just short that line to gain, so it's 3rd and 1. As Fuller is stacked up and then driven back. You saw everybody getting involved, including a little something extra at the end from Tim Keenan.
Well, Tim Keenan, since he's been back in the lineup for Alabama, they've been a different defense. Missed the first 3 games. Georgia, they got him back, and he's a leader. When he talks, everybody listens, but he is.
Fuller straight ahead, and he drives ahead for a first down.
Well, it was Fuller one-on-one. I think that was L.T. Overton, or it was Tim Smith. It was James Smith, number 23, a big D lineman at 300 pounds that time Fuller was just able to run right through. We've seen Fuller do some work here on jet sweeps. Good job in a short yardage situation, just dropping the shoulder and getting what he needed.
Yeah, that's pad level 101 right there. Sellers, he is tripped up for a loss as Sellers was taken down by Red Morgan.
Red Morgan got more PT against Tennessee too, and he's only a true sophomore, but he's really starting to come on as well. That time a great job triggering. As soon as he sees this run, he's flying downhill to get involved in the action and makes a really good tackle on a big physical quarterback.
Incomplete as he tried to set it up for Bennett.
Well, you know, it's a good play. It's a screen, and Alabama's blitzing, but that's got to be a more accurate throw as well. You're throwing it to a receiver on a screen. You got to take a little bit off of that. Just look at what South Carolina's been able to do in this game. So much of their work has come in the territory of Alabama. It's been the complete opposite for the Crimson Tide.
Look up at that scoreboard. You see 7-3. You see Alabama with only 12 offensive plays. Of course, they had the freaky bounce of the ball that was returned for a touchdown by Bama's Deshaun Jones. 3rd down and 14. Four-man rush. Sellers pressured and ripped. Oh, he survives it. Somehow he survived it as Deontay Lawson was all over Sellers.
Well, he's been doing this all season long. We talked about it. Sacked 25 times. Should have been 50. Here's Lawson. He's going to get the crack. Get the opportunity, but Sellers just so strong. He's able to just sort of rip him off and make something out of nothing. And
he only gets 2 yards, but it's 4th and 12 and the offense stays on the field.
And you're at the 35-yard line, and this is that no man's land now after Shane Beamer, because you're too close to punt, but you're probably too far to kick a field goal. He tried a field goal a little while ago, long one, and missed. Curious to see what he's going to do here.
Timeout is going to be used by South Carolina. They'll be facing a 4th and 12 when we return to Columbia. Joyce earlier in this first half missed a 47-yard field goal when perhaps they were thinking about going in another direction. Now it's a 4th and 12 from the Alabama 35, Jesse.
And they're going to go for this. They've got to be able to help Lenora Sellers with protection, and they've got to be thinking about using tight ends and running backs to chip off the edge to help him and help these tackles outside, because to go 12 yards, Sellers is going to need time to push this thing down the field.
4th and 12. Of course, he's dynamic with his legs as well.
There's the cat and mouse.
There it is. Look at
Sellers audibles, Alabama audibles, and they've got everybody at the line of scrimmage.
Look at all the defensive backs pressing into the A and B gap. And here they come on 4th and 12. Sellers downfield and gets it complete to little brother, Pump, Jaden Sellers.
Well, the offensive line does an outstanding job figuring out who's coming and who's not coming. Bama had 8 guys up, and they're going to drop 3 guys out. And just look at the protection. It's a really nice job by South Carolina. It gives Sellers an opportunity to survey the field, and a nice job by his little brother working on the in route for a huge 4th down conversion.
22-yard reception by the true freshman Jaden Sellers. And with that, a 1st down and a quarterback run. Lenoris Sellers now. Look at him get to the outside. A flag is down as he turns the corner and gets to the pylon for what right now is a Gamecocks touchdown. We'll check on the flag.
Holding. Offense, number 51. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 1st down.
Walk it back.
And it's Tree Babalade working on the outside at right tackle. Going to be out here one-on-one, and this is where the infraction happens. I love the play call and letting Sellers run this, and this is a perfect area of the field for that. But Babalade just gets too much of LT Overton, and an outstanding individual effort gets called back.
And you see Tree's reaction.
Well, we said earlier in the game, Joe, that to win this game, we thought Lenora Sellers was going to have to do some superhuman things. That's a great example of it, but the margin for error for them is just too small. And you got the pick 6 already. You've already missed a field goal, and now a penalty wipes a touchdown off the board. These are just self-inflicted wounds that just can't happen if you're South Carolina.
1st and 20 after the penalty wipes out the touchdown. And Donovan Murph can't go anywhere, and the crowd wants a penalty flag here on Yanze Pierre as they didn't like what happened after the play.
Oh, that was,
and it's down at the 25.
That's a WWE move. This is like a DDT. Back in the day, he literally scoops him from behind his back. Watch number 42. Getting in here on Murph. True freshman gets up and picks him up and slams him.
Yeah, suplex city.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 42. The penalty will be enforced from the dead ball spot, half the distance to the goal, first down.
You just got to know when the play is over. We've had a wild series and sequence of events here in the last two plays. The holding call on Babalade, wiping out the touchdown by Sellers, and now on what looked like a really good play by Bama's defense gets wiped away because of the personal foul penalty.
So dueling penalties make it a first down again for South Carolina, who's 2 for 2 on fourth down on this drive to put themselves in position. Faison comes in motion. Sellers looking for an option. He spins all the way back at the 26. That's where the next flag comes out. They may have another holding.
It's going to be Josiah Thompson, the left tackle, number 74.
Holding. Offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
A guy who was a freshman All-America last year, but has not played up to that level this year.
Yeah, and he's been the consistent up front for South Carolina. He started every game for them, but you're right. He is very talented, but he's been very up and down. That time, Jan Zapier just trying like a crush rush to get in the backfield, and Shane Beamer just can't believe it. These penalties on the offensive line have been killing them all season long.
First down now back at the 21 as the option pitch goes to Fuller, and Fuller is met by Lee.
This is really one of the areas I think situationally Alabama's defense has been great this season. Down in the red zone with their backs against the wall, they're only letting opponents score on 64% of their possessions. That's best in the SEC, third best in the country. Great play that time by the true freshman Dijon Lee.
Second and 23. That was thrown high, incomplete, looking for Brown.
Yeah, that's another throw, a little off target, that time by Sellers in a clean pocket that you just have to be able to make to help keep these third downs more manageable, and now you're backed up again in a third really long situation. The last time there was the cat and mouse, right? Sellers audibled, Alabama put everybody at the line of scrimmage, tried to drop guys out, and South Carolina picked it up. And they hit a big one to Jaden Sellers. What happens here?
Third and 23. They go shallow underneath to Dingle as he is wrapped up and brought down at the 16-yard line by Hubbard.
Well, I like it, and it's a short completion. Obviously not going to move the chains, but you've made it so much easier now for your kicker and William Joyce. And I just think you want to capitalize on the momentum that your defense is giving you in this game right now. So this is really big. After getting the sack fumble, you want to turn this thing into points.
So William Joyce will head out there to close into this lead. 6-year player, we told you, waited his turn, a career walk-on, hadn't scored a point prior to this year and earning the starting job. This a 34-yard attempt. Good lift and rotation, and he puts it through. And the bottom line is this: unranked South Carolina is right there with Alabama. Please fix his lapel.
Sheffy's collar, he's got to come down over the left shoulder.
He's got really good style, but I mean, somebody's got to get in there.
Always on the phone. He's always breaking.
I'll give him a break there with how hard he is.
Always.
Rico Scott on the return. Let's check in with Kevin and Booger in the studio. Gentlemen.
Fast Capital One halftime report minutes away. A first for Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. Highlights coming your way. Indiana and Georgia Tech dominate. Right now we got action. Texas on the road at Mississippi State on the SEC Network. Okay, Arch Manning, trouble throwing the football. How about the legs, Boog?
Yeah, it's good to see him use athleticism to start to make some stuff happen for the Texas Longhorns.
Right now it's just 7-7 late in the first quarter. Back to you, Tess and Jesse.
Looking forward to that. 7-7 Texas and Mississippi State. As Ole Miss and Oklahoma put on a show, and now just over 4 minutes before halftime here. Ty Simpson Gets to the outside to Bernard, who turns the corner.
Well, we've been talking, the big story, I think, in the game so far is South Carolina in defense and how they've been just shutting down Ty Simpson. And last time out, they got the big sack forced fumble by cornerback Bakari Swain, and that's been going on here for years now. In the last 5 seasons, under defensive coordinator Clayton White right there, 101 takeaways, leads the conference.
Your former teammate with the New York Giants. Good strike from Simpson to Ryan Williams.
I think one thing offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb has found out as the season's gone on is that dig route, the deep in, is the best throw by Ty Simpson, and that time he dialed it up. Really nice catch by Ryan Williams.
19 yards there for Williams. Cam Miller as he lowers the shoulders.
Well, Ryan Williams has had some drops issues this year with 6 on the season. Here he is just running this deep route over the middle of the field. But when you watch the Tennessee game, his first 4 catches look like this. They were unbelievable, stretching out, awkward body control. He has been playing the most consistent football of his career at Alabama these last 2 games.
First time Alabama's been in South Carolina territory, and with a lot of pressure on Simpson. From Clowney, it goes into the ground. It is. It's Jadeveon Clowney's cousin.
Demon Clowney doing a nice spin move on one of the best left tackles in the country, in Caden Proctor. I'll tell you, you see Jadeveon right there, obviously first overall pick, an absolute legend here, and his cousin now making a big play.
3rd down and 7, and it is loud again at Williams-Brice. Here's 3rd down and 7 for Simpson in the Tide as he has to escape and then finds the open man again. It's Daniel Hill. What a play by the sophomore.
The poise of Ty Simpson all season long, especially on 3rd downs. In the road where it's loud, he's getting the play change. You saw it against Georgia, you saw it against Missouri, and now here at South Carolina. He avoids the sacks, keeps his eyes downfield. Daniel Hill has made a big play earlier in the game on 3rd down, makes a guy miss. When things get off schedule, I think few quarterbacks in the country have been better than Ty Simpson, and all of a sudden Alabama inside the 10-yard line.
And Daniel Hill is starting to become one of those players you have to know when you watch the evolution of the Alabama offense. That was a 41-yard reception. Simpson with his legs now as he gets inside the 5, but at 244 pounds, Jesse, you know, we were having this conversation with Ryan Grubb, the play caller. I said most guys are just forward leaning at that weight, but he's got great balance and super soft hands.
Well, they thought coming out of spring ball, they thought that Daniel Hill might beat Jam Miller to be the starting running back. Some injuries kind of slowed him down. He's really coming on, and right now, Joe, he's got Alabama in great position near the goal line.
2-minute timeout.
Welcome back to Columbia. It was a slow start for Alabama's offense, but Ty Simpson's really waking up here on this drive, throwing it. Beautiful dig throw here over the middle. Not perfect by any stretch. Great stab by Ryan Williams. Then in a big 3rd down, he's able to break contain, find Daniel Hill down the sidelines, and all of a sudden, Alabama inside the 5-yard line here.
Oh, boy. We got big man in the backfield. We got a Caden Proctor crispy package working on 2nd and goal. Here he goes, and he is cut down. The 366-pound left tackle was taken down by Troy Pipes.
It was Nick Barrett that makes the play, though, number 93 for South Carolina. He goes low, and he gets pushed, and he just collapses the left tackle in the backfield so that the big 366-pounder can never get going. That is an outstanding job. A new wrinkle we're seeing with Caden Proctor, but South Carolina was ready for it. We talk about the crispy package. You've seen it this year. Wide receiver screen against Georgia, fullback dive against Vandy. We saw him in the Wildcat, Joe, against Missouri, and now another iteration of it here. But get the Gamecock defense ready. They've been watching their film, and they were prepped.
3rd and goal. Simpson to the back of the end zone, looking for Ryan Williams, but he's out the back door, and it's incomplete.
This will be so interesting to watch again in replay to see if Ryan Williams really had to jump up for this one. I know the ball's thrown up. If he had just dragged his toes, could he have made this catch and stayed in bounds? I think he could have. Great job by South Carolina rallying to the football to knock them out. And now a massive 4th down.
4th and goal. They're 11 of 17 this year on 4th down. 4th and goal for Bama. Simpson, touchdown, tied, Josh Cuevas.
Really nice job by Simpson this time, working through his progression. He wants Ryan Williams potentially here on this corner route. It's going to be Cuevas coming inside, and you just see him work his eyes from 1 to 2, finding the transfer from Washington in the back of the end zone. And I'll tell you, Joe, when you got a quarterback playing as well this year as Ty Simpson, you earn the right to go for it on 4th down in those situations.
Hey, before this drive, Bama just had 45 yards of offense, and then they just had a 9-play drive, Jesse, for 81 yards.
And situationally, we talk to coaches every week, Joe, and they always talk about the last 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes of the second half. Situationally in games, being a big determining factor in who wins. And yes, this was absolutely a slow start for Bama on offense through the first 3 drives, but you score a touchdown here. Remember, South Carolina won the toss. They elected to receive. Ty Simpson and Alabama are going to get the ball back first in the second half. So if their defense can get a stop here, all of a sudden, this thing could start getting wide open a little bit.
You think how choppy things were and how slow they were to get going for Alabama, and everybody talks about it. When you go through a stretch the way they did at Georgia, ranked number 5, the revenge game against a very good ranked Vandy team, at number 14 Mizzou, the rivalry showdown against a good ranked Tennessee team, and then you come here and you see the struggles South Carolina's been having. And then finally the offense finds its stride just before halftime here, 14-6. And meanwhile, for South Carolina, some miscues today.
Well, they've done good things. I mean, they've outgained Alabama by about 50 yards, but it's this pick 6 on a catch that Faison has to make it running back into the hands of Deshaun Hand. Takes it in for the score. There was a missed field goal as well early in this game, and then a touchdown run by Lenora Sellers wiped off because of a holding penalty against the right tackle. Margin for error for South Carolina. Just, it's not very big again, and they've got to stop shooting themselves in the foot as this game goes on.
And Beamer looks on as his star quarterback, Lenora Sellers, see what he can offer up here with 1:45 before halftime. A-gap pressure, and he is taken down by Justin Jefferson.
The one thing South Carolina offensively has struggled with is movement up front, and Boaz Stanley's working against the nose guard. He doesn't pass it off with the guard outside. Here, it's a linebacker, Jefferson, coming from the other side through a clear hole up the middle, and Lenora Sellers doesn't have a chance. Just the communication between centers and guards has been such an issue, I think, for South Carolina on their O-line this season. When things like that happen, Joe, as a play caller offensively, there's only so much you can do when you're giving up so much pressure. I mean, you can max protect with tight ends and running backs, and you can move the pocket, and you can try to run into the blitz and see if you can crease them. You can throw a bunch of screens. South Carolina's tried all of those things this year, but you know the saying in football, it's not about the X's and the O's. It's the Jimmies and the Joes. And South Carolina just doesn't have the Jimmies and the Joes up front.
9 different players on the offensive line have started. It's the most in the nation. Coming off the Alabama timeout, it's a 2nd and 19. Sellers, as he tried to go underneath the Attaway coming out of the backfield, but it'll be 3rd down and 19.
Because of that drop now, Alabama doesn't have to use another timeout. Now sets up 3rd down. Depending on what happens here, it looks like Ty Simpson's going to get one more chance. With the ball at midfield, you see there, and talking to his quarterback coach, Nick Sheridan. They're going over what's going to happen in a 2-minute situation to see if they can steal some more points here before the end of the half.
Sellers on 3rd and 19. As that was batted away, incomplete. It was Bray Hubbard again. So now Bama can sit back and manage things. 90 seconds before halftime. 2 timeouts and an 8-point lead.
And that's a lot of time. And with the explosive playmakers they have, with guys like Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard and the big physical receiver Isaiah Horton, you see him talking to his guys right now. Hey, listen, we're going to have some timeouts to work with. We got to know the situation. We got to know where the sidelines are. We know in this deal 2 minutes. We get first downs. Game clock stops momentarily. Everything we practiced to score some points.
Mason Love drives this punt out of bounds. And it'll be 1:23 remaining. College football rankings, Jesse, are brought to you by Prudential.
Well, Ole Miss already got a big win earlier. That was huge. This is a big game on the road. The Death Valley, obviously Alabama right now with their hands full as well. And Vanderbilt right now tied 3-3. This thing's going to change. I'll tell you what, I know we've got the AP top 10 for now, but the first college football playoff ranking comes out November 4th, and that's the one that matters.
Absolutely.
It'll be really interesting to see. A lot of big matchups coming up the next couple of weeks here, how that's going to look.
Well, especially down the stretch of the SEC with all these ranked teams having to meet up. It's interesting when you look at the schedules ahead. We'll have that conversation a little later on how it could play out in the SEC in November. Simpson threw it to the outside of Rico Scott, the redshirt freshman, who's getting a little more playing time because Lottie Brooks, the star true freshman, is out injured.
We take a look at sort of how Alabama has divvied up running and throwing the football. Running the ball consistently has been the biggest issue, I would say, for Alabama all season. It's showing up here in the first half.
Simpson on 2nd down as he's able to connect with Cuevas, who had the touchdown on 4th down moments ago.
Now you got to go quick here if you're Alabama. You don't want to use the timeout at this situation. You got to communicate this in a 3rd and short situation. Remember, you get a first down under 2 minutes to go in the half. The game clock is going to stop momentarily.
3rd down and 2. Under a minute until halftime. The quick out to Williams will give them the first down. Clock will stop.
It's a really nice job of understanding the situation. And that time, Ryan Williams, he has access off the line of scrimmage. They line him up in the slot. It's an easy flat route. Pitch and catch, get out of bounds. 51 seconds to go. Lots of time.
Simpson. Big strike downfield to Williams is overthrown.
Well, one thing the South Carolina defense prides themselves on is keeping the football in front, not letting it get behind. They know because of Ty Simpson and all these receivers, they're going to have completions. Just can't let them get behind you, and that was a good matchup for Ty Simpson. Ryan Williams one-on-one in the slot against Jalen Kilgore. Just a little bit too far down the field, now setting up 2nd and long.
Here's 2nd and 10. Simpson will dump down to Hill, who's been the leading receiver for Alabama so far. And he goes for 8 yards.
It's a good job by Hill just catching it and immediately turning around and trying to get upfield, get what he can. Now finally going to use a timeout here and schedule a play for 3rd down.
You know, it's one of those funny games just where it falls on the schedule, Jesse, right? Because, and we've talked about how unique it was for Alabama to play the 4 ranked teams in 4 consecutive weeks, and then you land this one.
Yeah, and they've had this attitude all season long of sort of us against the world, and they remember a lot of people that were criticizing them after that Florida State loss. They're the ones now patting them on the back,
That's right.
just telling them how good of a team are. They've not listened to that, and they're trying to play to their own standard. But I think even after that gauntlet they just survived, they knew coming in here with this crowd and a team in South Carolina that was going to get up for this one, it was going to be a tough challenge. And no question, they've had their hands full early, but the offense is coming alive here now late in the first half.
Happened on the last drive. What will they come up with on this drive? You're facing a 3rd and 1. Remember, they still have the 1 timeout in their pocket. 33 seconds until halftime. Simpson, that is batted, and it is incomplete as Jeremy Bernard turned into a defensive back as Kilgore thought he was going to have himself an interception.
I thought Kilgore, I thought the linebacker J.R. Johnson might get a shot at this as well. Heads up play by Bernard, just getting in and ripping it free, avoiding potential catastrophe right there.
And now it's 4th down, and the offense for Alabama stays on the field. As Coach DeBoer says, here's the situation, 27 seconds left, 43-yard line. Yeah, why not?
245-pound running back and Daniel Hill lined up beside Simpson,
who's been playing really well today. 1 for 1 on 4th down today. Do they convert here? Simpson's going to run straight ahead, and he is able to lean forward after that first initial contact. First down.
He just broke a tackle from J.R. Johnson, who's a 240-pound linebacker, and just bounced off him. I think if J.R. Johnson gets this tackle here, Alabama's going to be short of the first down. He just bounces off him, keeps his feet, gets the yard to gain.
Number 1 timeout remains. 10 seconds. Downfield shot is beyond Bernard. So 6 seconds remaining as Swain had coverage.
Wow, Vicari Swain, I think, is playing real well. And he obviously had the sack fumble early. This time he's one-on-one with Bernard. The 3rd time they've taken a shot on this 2-minute situation. There's a little bit of hand fighting. I think that's a good no call. Got to be impressed with the way Swain. And this whole secondary is played on the back end. They're not giving up anything deep. Now you've got a timeout here for Alabama with 6 seconds. You can hit something really quick, down yourself, burn the timeout quickly to give your field goal kicker a shot.
Got to get the ball out quick if you choose to take advantage of that. But a timeout's going to be called for right now from South Carolina. Well, we mentioned the streak that Alabama just accomplished that no other SEC team has. And the black hoodie, the legend of the black hoodie of Coach Kalen DeBoer, when he wears it, man, they're almost unstoppable. Like going through what they did against Georgia back on September 27th. And then Vandy at Mizzou when Mizzou was rolling and undefeated. And, of course, the cigar game last week. That black hoodie is taking care of a lot of business, Jesse.
He's just pocketing a bunch of stuffed animals. It's like he's at a state fair or something. But, you know, the amazing thing is they've gotten better as every game has gone on. And, you know, this funny thing about the record of Kalen DeBoer in the black hoodie versus not. But it's pretty obvious the dress attire, what it needs to be.
13-2 in the black hoodie. I mean, you never want to see the crimson polo again if you're a Bama fan. 6 seconds remain, still the 1 timeout. Simpson, does he get it out quickly? No, goes downfield and it's incomplete, so that leaves 2 seconds as Bernard was the intended target.
Yeah, Brandon Cisse outside at corner did a really good job of redirecting Bernard that time so he couldn't hit his marker down the field. Really nice work by the NC State transfer corner Cisse, who I think has been their most consistent DB, or corner at least, in the back end this season. Really good job being physical, disrupting the timing there of Simpson.
Now they'll take a shot here with 2 ticks left in this first half. Kalen DeBoer will use that final timeout, be able to take a chance to talk it over. And Ty Simpson, of course, we mentioned, listed by many polls at this juncture as the Heisman front runner as we turn the corner towards November. 6 games this year with multiple touchdown passes and no interceptions. That's the most in all of major college football. Got off to a little bit of a slow start today before we saw here in the second quarter this offense finding its gear.
Now this Hail Mary is something that offenses practice all season, and it's something that they've got in the game plan, obviously. Now, last time out, they had 3 guys lined up to the right-hand side, and you're just trying to get all 3 of those bodies down into the end zone, 1 receiver from the other side trailing, and you're just trying to stack everybody. And Ty Simpson's just going to throw it up as high as he can, let everybody run under it. You hope for a jump ball or a tip ball up in the air, and one of your 4 stacked wide receivers can maybe make the catch.
4 DBs across the 10-yard line for South Carolina.
6'5", Derek Meadows.
He's going to get it quickly over to Bernard with blockers in front, and Jeremy Bernard is going to dance a little bit and hope for the best before being forced out.
Well, I think if you're Shane Beamer, even though you're down 14-6, you got to be happy with how well your defense has played, and you see things getting a little bit chippy here at the end of the first half. They've had some miscues, but this is still just a 1-possession game.
The interception returned by Jones that got Bama on the board, and then Cuevas had the touchdown reception on 4th down. (14-6) at the half for the number 4 team in the country. Katie?
Thanks, Des. Coach DeBoer, you guys start with the ball after half. How would you assess your offense's play so far?
Yeah, it's not what we want. It's not what it's supposed to look like, and we just got to make the easy throws, easy catches, and give our guys a chance, you know. And so it's execute the base stuff. So we're trying to do too much sometimes.
What do you think of the job your defense has done in containing Lenora Sellers?
Yeah, they're doing a great job making them snap again on offense and getting the stops. You know, I like where we're at there. So we just got to make sure we put a second half together with it.
Thanks for the time.
Coach DeBoer. CC on ABC is presented by Burger King. Number 4 team in the country with a choppy first half. They lead by 8 points against unranked South Carolina. Alabama 14-6. A defensive touchdown, a 4th and goal touchdown on a touchdown pass. South Carolina defense has held their own a bit.
And they've done this all season long. Even though the offense continues to struggle, the defense just hangs on, and they've been making the plays they needed to make.
High-speed highlights brought to you by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet.
First off, it's Brian Thomas coming off the edge, and he retraces, able to make a play on Ty Simpson for a big sack. And then Dylan Stewart splitting the double team for a tackle for loss. They forced 2 3-and-outs right out of the gate. Goodwine here. Nice heads-up play, knocking down the screen to Bernard, and then Bakari Swain, the biggest play on defense so far, on the corner blitz, forcing the sack and the fumble. Troy Pikes hands it off to Shane Beamer. This is what Clayton White's defense has done all season long. They've been hanging on. The question is, how long can they hang on?
Whoa! As you never know what you're going to get with the special teams from Coach Beamer. Katie just caught up with him moments ago.
Shane, even with some of the missed opportunities, it's a one-possession game. What do you need to see from your team here in the second half?
Yeah, that's what we just talked about at the half. It is a one-possession game, more because of us and some of the plays that we didn't make by, frankly, just not doing our job. You know, so we need to settle down. Everybody just needs to do their job. We need to continue to control the ball. We've had the ball for almost 20 minutes, which that's the recipe to beat this team. We got to continue to stop the run defensively, and offensively we can't turn it over. We need to get some on defense, but really it's just finishing drives. I mean, we're doing a lot of really good, but we got down there twice in the red zone and got stopped.
Appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jam Miller with the carry to open up this second half. Remember, South Carolina had won the toss earlier. They elected to receive, and they came down the field, got the field goal drive, and then just before halftime, that's when you got the sense that Alabama's offense started to find them.
Yeah, and Alabama's got to find the run game. That's what they couldn't do in the first half. Only 2 rushing yards before that last play to Jam Miller. These big guys up front, they've got to be able to find some creases for Kevin Riley there, for Jam Miller, for Daniel Hill, so they can have some balance on offense.
See if they can rely on Jam Miller here. Offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb says he brings some presence and calmness to the run game. And that looks like that's what they're trying to do, is it'll be 3rd down and just a couple of yards. Okoronkwo with the tackle.
Well, Ryan Grubb told us, too, that this week he really challenged his running back room to play better and to raise their level of play. He said, we've got to get runs that gain more yards than what is blocked. He's got a very highly recruited room and talented room. When you talk about Jam Miller and Daniel Hill, Kevin Riley, the list goes on and on and on. He wants to give all these guys an opportunity to get touches and then start riding the hot hand, and I think that's something you might see here in the second half.
3rd down and 3. Ty Simpson on 3rd and 3 as he steps up against the pressure of Stewart, and then coming back to the ball was Bernard. And let's see where they mark this.
It was a great job by Simpson keeping it alive and avoiding Stewart, and I think he was short.
I think they're going to mark him about a football length short on what was 3rd and 3. So, yes, it'll be 4th down, and Kalen DeBoer's not hesitating. They're at their own 44-yard line, and it's 4th and short.
They've got Bernard in the Wildcat, a receiver. We've seen this before. South Carolina sees it. They call a timeout.
Completed pass, short of the line of gain. The previous play is under video.
Actually, it's going to be the officials taking the timeout.
South Carolina with Bernard back there in the backfield.
But while they take a look at spotting that ball, let's go to the studio and Kevin.
Tess, we get an update here. Missouri driving inside the 2-yard line, and Beau Pribula, he suffers a devastating leg injury right here. Vandy with the stop, but you see the left leg gets caught as Pribula goes down backwards. His foot was in a cast, and he was taken off the field in a cart. We will have more updates as it continues. Right now, 3-3. Back to you.
Hate to see that for Beau Pribula, the guy who started his career at Penn State and came over and transferred to Mizzou to bring them such success this year.
After video review, it is a first down. The receiver had firm control beyond the line to gain. It'll be first down, and the backside of the football will be at the 45-yard line.
They're saying he has firm control there, and there's no bobble or wiggle once he's going to the ground. And where the ball is in relationship to that first down marker right there when he goes out of bounds, they're saying he crossed that line. With complete possession, you need indisputable video evidence when you're looking at this in review to overturn the call. That was short of the fourth down, or of the first down marker. Certainly they saw that.
So it's a first down for Alabama after the 3-yard reception for Bernard. Simpson. He's going to tuck it and run it and look to pick up a block from his tight ends and then spins out for extra yardage as he was able to get past Jalen Kilgore.
We've been highlighting the athleticism of LaNorris Sellers in this game, but don't forget, when Ty Simpson came out of high school, he was the #2 ranked dual-threat quarterback in the nation. I thought he had his tight end Cuevas for an easy catch right there in the flat. He decided to keep it. And breaking tackles, not a great effort by Jalen Kilgore. He takes a big hit going out of bounds at the very end, but
short of the line again. It'll be second down and short.
as Alabama's trying to establish this run game, they're going to have to get it in a variety of ways, not just running backs, but Ty Simpson's the guy that can help out too.
9.5 yards on that run from Ty Simpson. That's only the second Bama first down running the ball. Simpson on second and short. Play caller's dream down in distance and nearly intercepted as he was looking to take a shot downfield. But
Peyton
instead,
Williams had a chance to catch that ball, and he has to. I mean, that's going to be essentially a punt. He tries to go up and high point it. I like the play call and the shot opportunity on second and short because if you don't get it, you're still third and short. Now you're going to run the football. But here you see 31 Williams hits him right between the 3 and the 1. That's another missed opportunity for South Carolina in this game.
Rico Scott was the lone player downfield. Remember, third in the distance of a football. Daniel Hill is stacked up. That was Nick Barrett with the tackle for loss on 3rd and 1.
And he absolutely takes on Caden Proctor at 366 pounds and completely pushes him off. Watch this right here. One-on-one. Big man against big man. Get off me. I'm in the backfield tackling a 245-pound running back. Remember, it was Barrett that tackled Caden Proctor earlier in the game on that goal line situation, and you may have another big matchup between these two right here.
That's a whole lot of meaty split screen right there. That's like Billy Hall's Steakhouse here in town. All right, here we go. 4th and 1 after the tackle for loss. This place is roaring for a stop. Simpson on 4th and 1 to pass. Hit as he throws and gets it complete to Ryan Williams. Oh, he dropped it. He dropped it. Brian Thomas with the pressure. Williams dropped it. That has been an issue this year.
Oh, and he's made a lot of really good catches these last 2 games. That is one Ryan Williams would love to have back. It's incredible that Ty Simpson even got rid of this because of the pressure right here from Brian Thomas Jr. But after the dropped interception, they come up with a big one on 4th down, and South Carolina is going to get it back.
90% caught until the very end. Incomplete. So moments ago, the 4th down incomplete that Ryan Williams could not haul in. Through the process of the catch, dropped the ball as he made his way to the ground. So the turnover on downs gives South Carolina the ball at the 46. Sellers He's going to launch it. And he's got his man waiting for it, and Nick Harbor. Touchdown, Kakalaki.
Well, Nick Harbor is one of the fastest players in college football. Ran a 10.11 in the 100-meter dash and track, All-American. This route going to take the safety, and that allows Harbor to get over top on the post. Really good protection. Look at the clean pocket LaNorris Sellers has to step into that throw and get it down to Nick Harbor. This is a guy who's been clock running 22.2 miles an hour this year, and now with the score 14-12, you got to go for two.
Go for Dos, brought to you by Dos Equis. This to tie the game after the 54-yard touchdown off the turnover on downs.
Timeout, South Carolina.
And timeout
first
is going to be used by South Carolina. Interesting sequence here as Alabama went for it on 4th down. Ryan Williams, he had the issues with dropping passes. The big one against Georgia had a 62-yard would-be touchdown. Vandy, there was a 3rd down play. You know what happened against Florida State. Recently, he was playing better, but moments ago could not haul it in. And Sellers takes the ball and does this.
Yeah, and listen, all season long, they haven't been able to throw this ball or get it thrown very much because LaNorris Sellers really hasn't had a lot of time. We saw him on a 64-yard catch just like that against Virginia Tech in week 1, but look at the long strides. He's 6'5" and 235 pounds, and when he gets going top-end speed, nobody can run with him.
So here we go. Unranked South Carolina trying to tie it up against number 4 Alabama. Sellers to the end zone, and it's incomplete. He was trying to get his little brother Jaden.
It's a really small window he's throwing into. Bray Hubbard's closing in on one side, Keon Sapp closing in on the other, and little brother Jaden is only 5'11". He tried to stretch out as far as he could. This is going to be right in the middle in the back of the end zone. These windows close quickly just over the outstretched arms. There's just been a few throws in this game. LaNorris Sellers has barely been off. That's certainly one he wished he had back. And Shane Beamer, we saw him on tape when they had to call a timeout. When they were first lined up to go for a 2-point play, it's as if he knew they had a look that a play was going to work, and then because they had to call the timeout, they maybe had to change the play, and another missed opportunity.
Remember, he turned to Katie and said, listen, time of possession, they had those 2 scoring drives for field goals that took 14 and a half minutes, and then in 9 seconds they get the big strike when you have the big weapons with Nick Harbor with the blazing speed.
It's just amazing what happens when your offensive line is a quarterback with talent, time. An opportunity to step in, deliver an accurate ball. You can take advantage of some of the skill they have outside at wide receiver, and that's an explosive play. We just haven't seen many of those from South Carolina this year. One of the frustrating things with Ryan Williams this year has just been the inconsistency. Earlier in this game, he gets an unbelievable catch here in a dig throw over the middle of the field. And then on the last play on offense, 4th down, not an easy catch by any stretch, but the ball is lobbed out there in a deep crossing route, and he can't come up with it. That now, the 7th drop of the season. He was so good in their last game against Tennessee. And you started to kind of believe, okay, he's turning the corner. He's being consistent. Drops have plagued him. In his first 2 years here at Alabama, he's so talented, but just has to become more consistent catching the football.
Offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb told us the other day, hey, he made 3 catches last week, as good as I've ever seen him make. And then you come back with that moments ago. Here's Daniel Hill, and now he's tackled against this fired-up South Carolina defense. That's Barrett. Katie.
Yeah, Tess, well, Ryan Grubb said he thinks there's 2 things. He thinks Ryan Williams is always ahead of the catch, meaning he's thinking about the next thing. So there's certainly a concentration issue he thinks there that they're continuing to work on. And then he said there's this piece of strength where he doesn't trust his hands, and there's something where we've got to continue to develop his ability to catch the ball. So those are 2 things that they continue to work with him as the season progresses, guys.
Yeah, Katie, they've looked at his contact lenses, whether it's a daytime thing, a nighttime thing. They showed him film of Jalen Polk at Washington. Ryan Grubb has to try to help him out.
After the tackle for Ross, the quick strike, and that's incomplete. As Edwards couldn't hold on. Defensively, Williams was there. He almost had another chance at an interception.
Yeah, good physical play that time and a clean play by Peyton Williams. Back in the day, this is going to be a blow-up kill shot over the middle of the field, but he was able to control himself and dislodge this football. He dropped an interception the last play out. Good clean hit on a bigger tight end. Now forces third down, and Joe, Dylan Stewart now. Number 6 with this crowd noise coming off the edge. Alabama's lined up a tight end to help out their right tackle, Michael Carroll.
Let's watch for Stewart in a spot like this. Third and 11. It's incomplete as Simpson was hit as he throws.
Well, that time the entire Alabama offensive line knew where he was, and they were all trying to slide his way. They slid 4 different people out to block Stewart, but he twisted inside, and he beat them all. Everybody's going this way. Stewart beats them to the inside. Really nice play call up front that time by Clayton White. The hit forces the errant throw, and that is a big-time shot Ty Simpson takes right in the gut.
No return man back for South Carolina. They're coming after it as Dowd gets it away. And that punt dribbles inside the 20-yard line towards the 15. Certain kind of energy in the air here at Williams-Brice Stadium. The defense is coming after Ty Simpson. The third 3 and out for Bama. South Carolina's got the ball, only trailing by 2.
Well, this thing got off to a bit of a shaky start for South Carolina on a pick 6 that Rasul Faison needed to catch. Jones ends up taking it in, and then a big throw at the end of the first half. Josh Cuevas from Ty Simpson, but on the last drive, after a drop pass by Ryan Williams, the very first play, they go deep to Nick Harbor on the post to get the score. Missed the 2-point conversion, but they're playing with confidence.
Sellers sprinting to the right, and that was tipped as he tried to get it.
It was Justin Jefferson that got his hands on that play that time. And you're just seeing again from Mike Shula, he's trying everything here to help out this offensive line. It's max protection on the post throw to Nick Harbor, and that time moving the pocket, trying to make it easy for his quarterback. This has been the struggle all year long offensively, is just trying to find ways to bring this passing attack alive.
Harbor had the big moment to get them back in this game. Faison with the carry now. It'll be third down from the 18-yard line. Overton with the tackle.
And one thing that Kane Womack, the D coordinator for Alabama, has done more and more as the season has gone on is blitz. He is bringing linebackers. He's bringing safeties. And in situations like this, he's trying to simulate pressure. He's going to stunt and twist guys up on the defensive line, try and confuse South Carolina's O-line and see if they can create a space and a gap to run a guy through to get to Sellers.
Kane knows they've struggled with movement and pass protection this year. Third down and 7. Here comes the pressure. Sellers gets rid of it and has a first down. It's Jordan Dingle, his tight end.
And that's a great job by Sellers that time, just beating the blitz with the throw. Xavier Brown is running in unimpeded from the second level over here, and he's just going to find Dingle, the Kentucky transfer. He does a really nice job just setting down right in the middle of that zone.
Faison, and he's driven back right at the line of scrimmage that time by Keenan.
Yeah, Tim Keenan at 320 pounds. And like we're talking earlier about the impact he's had. He just stones Boaz Stanley at center, right up front, right in the middle. He's able to get off of it and make the play. It's a big win for them getting him back on the field.
Second and 9, Sellers was chased back, and that's incomplete. It'll be third and long.
Third down, and this has been the issue, third and longs. All year, 33% on third down. And the average to-go distance is 3rd and 9. We've just been living in this situation way too much.
Penalty flag down at the 31-yard line.
The ruling on the field is that the pass was touched beyond the line of scrimmage. Therefore, we have an eligible player downfield. Offense, number 52. The penalty is declined. It'll be third down.
I think that time there were actually two bodies downfield, Nick Sharp and Trovon Baugh, and offensive linemen are allowed to get downfield 3 yards. The forward pass is thrown across the line of scrimmage. That time, two guys. Bama declines the penalty, and here's that third and long situation that they've just been living in all season.
3 for 10 on third down today. 3rd and 9, 4-man rush for Lenore. Sellers hit as he tried to throw, and it's incomplete.
Yanze Pierre, who had 3 sacks against Tennessee again, he's working a stunt. Comes inside against Trovon Baugh. Right here, he's not able to get the sack, but he's able to push the guard right back into the QB. Sellers can't get a clean throw away.
Give credit to the Alabama defense after the offense had the recent struggle.
And their pass rush, Joe, in the last 3 games has gotten better, too. That was their big issue a year ago in the first half of this season. But these last 3 games now, they're getting a lot more consistent getting after the QB.
Love punts away. And it harmlessly goes out of bounds.
Well, I'm really impressed with South Carolina's defense, especially up front the defensive line. Nick Barrett, number 93, has taken this game over. Look at this penetration, getting the tackle on Caden Proctor. Here he is beating Proctor across his face for a big tackle for loss. I know we talked a lot about Dylan Stewart. Brian Thomas has made some plays as well, but Nick Barrett has just been living in Alabama's backfield in this one.
Senior leader. Played 3 years and actually redshirted last year because of all the depth they had on the defensive line. Comes back bigger, better, vocal voice, and now proving it with his action on the field. Ty Simpson on first down gets the ball out quickly and does so to Ryan Williams.
You know, I always love that when quarterbacks go right back to a guy after he's dropped a pass. And not that you're worried about Ryan Williams' confidence. I'm sure he's supremely confident, but you just want to get the good mojo back, right? So just throw him a quick stick route, get a couple of yards. Here we go.
7-yard reception for Williams. Jam Miller now out of the backfield as a flag is down as Miller takes it ahead for what now is a first down for Alabama, but the flag's back at the 23.
Personal foul, hands to the face, offense, number 64. The penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal from the previous spot, remains second down.
Michael Carroll, a true freshman who just gets his right hand right into the face mask of Dylan Stewart. And this true freshman, big time recruit. The #1 guard prospect coming out of high school. But you're out on an island against one of the best pure pass rushers, not just in the SEC, but in college football. And you are going to have your hands full.
Second and 18. Simpson sets up the screen. Jam Miller is taken down by Sean Murphy.
All right, now you got third down again. You've got to come up with a plan for Dylan Stewart of South Carolina. We got the big hit on Ty Simpson the last time. The line slid to him. He stunted inside. They've got a running back now lined up over to his side as well to help out. Just a plan to deal with this guy right here.
Stewart's a problem, especially on 3rd and 11. Simpson, with time, drives it downfield, but he overthrows Bernard.
I'll tell you what, if that was an accurate throw, Jeremy Bernard is going to score. There was nobody back there, and that is a throw that Ty Simpson almost never misses. He is going to be sick when he watches the film tomorrow. Bernard here wins on the in-breaking route. If he catches that, he is up the boundary, and that is going to be 6 Alabama.
4th Bama 3 and out. 2nd in a row. Blake Dowd on to punt. Swain is the dangerous return man, but he lets it bounce. And it settles in near the 25-yard line on the sideline. A little extra push at the end of that punt. Some second half struggles for Ty Simpson. As you get the sense they're starting to believe here at Williams-Brice. Upset hunting in Columbia. Taco Bell Litmas Student Section. Only one student section can claim the title of Litmas Student Section of the Year. Who's going to take home that trophy this year? Got some good candidates here at South Carolina. It is 14-12. The South Carolina team was struggling with their offensive line play. Struck big with a 54-yard touchdown to Nick Harbor here in the third quarter. Now gets the ball back after another 3-and-out by the Bama offense, and Sellers stays alive and able to stride his way along the sideline.
Yeah, the superhuman plays he's just got to be able to make if they're going to win. Kelby Collins, the transfer from Florida that time, had a shot at him in the backfield, but he just runs so fast for a guy that's 240, and people just can't seem to bring him down. I'm telling you, he's avoided, I think now in this game, probably 55 sacks on the year. It's just crazy how well he's played.
They go with the tap pass to Fuller, and Fuller trying to get to that edge for that line to gain. He's going to be very close, maybe a football short. Shane Beamer, he knows what it takes to have days like this. 3 top 10 wins under Beamer.
They're saying it's a first down. They moved the sticks.
They did. By the way, those 3 top 10 wins that he's had against top 10 opponents, they all came when South Carolina was unranked, as they are, of course, today at 3-4. Sellers going to try to run it straight ahead. He's wrapped up by Jefferson.
Well, it's true. Listen, when there were divisions in the SEC, it was hard for South Carolina to win in the East. Now you take the divisions away. You've got to play Bama and LSU and Oklahoma, Ole Miss. I mean, it's just ridiculous what they're having to go through. But in these big games, under Beamer, they played well.
2nd and 8. This is where he's so dangerous. Sellers slides down after picking up good yardage. And South Carolina, here they are, past midfield. Late third quarter, only trailing by 2.
Well, Alabama just gets out of their rush lanes. They're trying to bring pressure out here. There's nobody up the middle of the field for Sellers, and this is just way too easy of a decision for him to just tuck it and go.
17-yard run by Lenora Sellers. And now he gets it to little brother Jaden, who slithers ahead and dives inside the 40.
Yeah, nice job there by Dre Jacobs and the tight end Brady Hunt, getting out in front on the perimeter and getting some blocks. Going to the quick game now, spitting the football out to the outside and letting some of your speed go to work.
7-yard reception. Sellers with a man coming straight at him. And it's incomplete, as Xavier Mincy was like a heat-seeking missile.
And they do a good job disguising it because he comes from depth. He's not creeping up too quickly at the line of scrimmage, just relying on that speed to get there, and that's all Sellers could do just to get it out. See Sean Elliott, the offensive line coach, upset his guys didn't pick that one up. But here's the good news, though. A couple times on this drive, 3rd down and manageable. They haven't seen a lot of that this season. This just makes it so much easier on the play caller, Mike Shula, and, of course, on Lenora Sellers.
Let's see how they get about it with 3rd and 3. Attaway. Attaway's got the first down and more, as trying to punch it out was Yonze Pierre, but it's a first down, South Carolina.
Boaz Stanley at center, and he's lost a few battles to Tim Keenan, but he absolutely wins this one. He's able to turn him to the left. He's able to get position and keep him walled off, and that opened up a big crease for Oscar Attaway to run through. Really nice job by the transfer from Troy, working against one of the best nose guards in the entire nation.
6-yard run by Attaway, the president of the SEC Football Players Council, and he delivers in a critical moment. Lawson makes the tackle that away this time, and a flag is down.
Holding. Offense. Number 50. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Just when we were praising him, Jesse.
Boaz Stanley again, after that big block that time, he had LT Overton just running a stunt right into his face, and they called that for holding. And Joe, honestly, going back and watching it in the replay here up in the booth, I'm not so sure that was. They've all of a sudden found some success here running the football right into the teeth of Alabama's defense, but the penalty now obviously sets them back 1st and 20.
Sellers, as he tries to get free, made a man miss. Man, oh man, does he have athletic ability.
Well, and Mike Shula is trying a bunch of different things to give him help. He brought Jordan Dingle, a tight end, in motion that time to try and seal the edge on Yanze Pierre, and it actually worked for a split second. It gave Sellers just a split-second opportunity to get into the second level. Pierre almost brings him down, but somehow, some way, the guy just never goes down.
Second and a long 8 here. Away again, as he's been getting continued work. Hill Green with the tackle.
So if you're Alabama here on 3rd down, it's not even necessarily about sacking LaNorris Sellers. Can you just cage him?
Yes.
Whether it's a 3-man rush, a 4-man rush, a blitz, can guys just stay in their lane and not let LaNorris Sellers out of the pocket?
3rd down and 6. Sellers, was nearly intercepted as Xavier Brown, who was the star of last week's game with the 99-yard pick six, had a shot at it, and it's 4th down.
And that's one Xavier Brown has got to be able to make. You're right. The interception last week was just so incredible. Great job high pointing. Just goes right through his hands. He's a guy that is battle-tested, started all 13 games a year ago as a true freshman, had some ups and downs throughout his career, coming off his biggest game.
And now an opportunity for William Joyce, the 6-year player, but his first year as the starter, to give South Carolina the lead. 47-yard attempt. And will you look at what we have here? Their first lead since that opening drive when they were up 3-0.
Shane Beamer is loving it, and he's seeing a lot of fight from his team. They've done an outstanding job defensively in this game. That's really the big story, but these last couple of drives now, this South Carolina offense has come alive. Really good drive there, throwing and running. Some big plays by Sellers to set up their kicker, who absolutely smokes that. William Joyce, who missed a big one earlier in the game. This one stays true, and this crowd, they are energized, and you just know South Carolina, with all the momentum now on their side, they are feeding off of this energy.
Yep, there's a sandstorm here in Columbia with a 15-14 lead. We have said it time and again, take it in, because this is the sneaky great atmosphere in the SEC.
I agree. As a guy who's played twice here, this is, in my opinion, the most underrated stadium and crowd in the conference.
If you're sitting back in some part of the country where you say, you know what, a bucket list is an SEC game with it all on the line, that's what it sounds like. That's what it looks like. Jan Miller is tackled for a loss, and yet it just got louder thanks to Monkel Goodwine.
You know, Test Jesse, Alabama offensive line coach Chris Kapilovic just told his group between series, we need
gaps, and they're winning.
5 tackles for loss. And now to the outside, he connects with Ryan Williams, does Simpson.
I just want to remind people, I know Bama has 14 points. Their offense has only scored 7, though. That's how well this defense has been playing all game long. Clayton's White's unit is flying around.
Tremendous defensive coordinators, Clayton White for South Carolina, and now his defense can get off the field again. It's a 3rd and 7. Simpson wants a whole lot more than 7, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Bernard, and Swain had coverage.
Bakari Swain has made a couple of huge plays in this one. The sack, fumble, and this time Jeremy Bernard got behind him, but Swain, who's taken 3 punts to the house this year, has great catch-up speed. And it looked at this one, when this ball was thrown, I'm thinking, oh, this is a touchdown Alabama. Swain's able to catch up. The ball a bit underthrown. A little bit of contact, but the referees have been letting them go on both sides of the field, and it's a consistent call.
Dow punting away. There's a lot of contact down there with Swain and the Alabama coverage team. Of course, still to come, it is the showdown for Texas A&M. They're 7-0. They're 4-0 in the SEC. But Coach Kelly has the LSU Tigers there at home under the lights and ready to go. LSU and Texas A&M coming up right here on ABC.
Obviously suffered a big-time loss last week in a game you, Katie, and I saw up at Vanderbilt, and an opportunity now against number 3 ranked Aggies. Turn it around.
By the way, Alabama, Jesse, their 5th 3-and-out moments ago. Their 3rd in a row. This South Carolina defense, time and again, is getting the ball back to Lenoris Sellers and the Gamecocks offense in this drama-filled second half. Sellers, as he gets it out to the 21-yard line, tackled by Lawson. So this is how it's going to play out. The number 4 team in the country that's been on the hottest roll through ranked teams is going to start the 4th quarter on the road here at South Carolina, trailing. The SEC on ABC, presented by Burger King, returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Listening to the classic for an entire generation here at South Carolina. The Eurodance Trance Classic Sandstorm that takes over this place on days like this. We are starting the 4th quarter with Lenoris Sellers on the go and South Carolina with a 1-point lead.
And for them to keep that lead, they just got to keep these 3rd downs manageable and give them an opportunity. And I love just putting the ball in Lenoris Sellers' hands here. He's the best athlete on the field. So whether it's running the football, whether it's getting him on the move, giving him run-pass options on the outside, put the ball in the hands of your best player and go win the game.
A year ago at Alabama, he nearly led a comeback in the final seconds. Here, he has the lead in the final quarter. 3rd and 4. Sellers against a 4-man rush, checks down the face-on, who had a turnaround and then is tackled for a loss.
It's another inaccurate throw. If that ball hits him in the chest, he has an opportunity to catch it and advance, maybe make a move and get the 1st down, but there's a lot of wild plays with Sellers, and we know that. Running and throwing, there's been too many times, I think, in this game, off-location throws have cost them, and now punting way backed up, looking like Bama getting it back close to midfield.
Mason Love on the punt away, as Cole Adams, the return man, already has his heels on the 40. Love with a knuckler. A lot of contact there. South Carolina jumps on it, claiming it is their ball. And it is! The ball hit an Alabama player.
Is the ball hit a kicking team player, correction, a receiving team player recovered by the kickers. First down, South Carolina at the spot of recovery.
Nick Harbor was down there to jump on it. What a moment, Jesse.
And I don't know if this hit Cole Adams or if it's number 3. I think that's Mbakwe, number 3, right there on the hit. That absolutely does hit him. And South Carolina able to jump on this. A huge break here for the Gamecocks.
So all of a sudden, South Carolina, after the turnover, it hit the backup receiver, special teamer, Jalen Mbakwe, and South Carolina takes possession at the Alabama 30. Fuller holding straight ahead, and he's tackled by Overton.
It's interesting, Joe. Early in this game, we were talking about the miscues from South Carolina shooting themselves in the foot. Alabama has done that as well. Sacked fumble on Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson missing an open Jeremy Bernard on a play that's going to score here recently. And then that play right there on special teams, they're starting to do the things that teams do to lose games.
One of the best turnover margin teams in the country. Now going the other way today. 2nd and 8. Sellers thinking about running it himself. Escapes that pocket collapsing and then takes Bray Hubbard for a ride. As at the end of that play, the players jumping ahead on that ball, but they're going to mark him down at the 20.5-yard line.
Lenora Sellers that time breaks tackles from James Smith, from Yanze Pierre, and from Justin Jefferson. 3 guys on Alabama had an opportunity and a crack at number 16, and still somehow is able to get north.
Big James Smith, that defensive line, they've got to deal with a very fiery Lenora Sellers, looking for a massive upset here. 3rd and 1. Fuller. He is tripped up, wrapped up, but drives ahead. He backed right into the defensive line, and the leg drive earned them the first down.
Well, Deontay Lawson had a shot at him in the backfield, and Fuller was able to break that tackle, and then just showed great leg drive, as you said. There's the missed tackle right there by Lawson. Puts his arm down, stays on his feet somehow, fights through Smith, fights through Hubbard, Dijon Lee, everybody, to get that first. And Shane Beamer, man, this has been an emotional roller coaster for South Carolina's head coach all game long, but on a high there.
South Carolina hasn't beaten a top 4 team since 2019. Sellers pitches to Fuller. Fuller, as he spins ahead near the 10-yard line, tackled by Sabb.
They've had red zone issues all season. They've had red zone issues in this game, but how big would it be for them to score a touchdown after getting the turnover on special teams and capitalizing? We talk about seizing and controlling the momentum, and there's been a shift here lately. This is a massive opportunity for South Carolina.
As that clock ticks down to under 11 minutes, and unranked South Carolina been struggling in recent weeks, but with Lenora Sellers, one of the most athletic, dynamic players in the country, trying to lead the way here in the 4th quarter. As Fuller will depend on the mark here, as he's just inside the 10-yard line.
I mean, they're putting their bodies on the line now. I mean, this thing has become a physical slugfest. Fuller leaves his feet and gets absolutely tattooed by Deontay Lawson and Yanze Pierre. But in games like this, you just all hands on deck. You got to do what you got to do, and this very well may come down to which team is the most physical and can control the line of scrimmage here late.
They're down and 1. Sellers to the outside. Lenoris to the end zone.
Jackson and Yanze Pierre inside. There's just green grass for Sellers to take advantage of to the outside. The run fake here freezes these 2 defenders. That's all the space Sellers needs.
Joyce makes it an 8-point lead. South Carolina has outscored Alabama 16-zip this half. Special teams playing a role. It hit Mbakwe. Harbor jumped on. Remember, he had the 54-yard touchdown. And then big man on campus, 10-yard touchdown run. See all day, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. Ole Miss, Oklahoma put on a show. Alabama and South Carolina is a potential shocker, and we still have the Aggies and Tigers to come. Rico Scott on the return. You think they're fired up? You think they're hungry? Everybody's getting to the ball for South Carolina.
Yeah, they've been galvanized by this crowd. And we look at the recap here for South Carolina, the big play by Nick Harbor in the end zone early in the second half. Really nice field goal kick here by Joyce. Puts another 3 on the board. And then Nick Harbor, obviously, who had the touchdown catch, is able to recover this fumble the last drive out on the muff. Then Lenora Sellers finishes it off. You know, football really is a game of emotion, but it's also a game of momentum. And in the second half, it's totally swung South Carolina's way.
It really has. And Jam Miller is looking to fix that here as the hard run straight ahead. And they finally blow the whistle with the 23-yard line being gained.
Well, you're down 1 possession if you're Alabama, which means you don't have to abandon the running game. You can see South Carolina's possessed the football. They've owned it. 7 first downs. For Bama, not having a lot of success running the football up to this point, but it's critical here late in the game, just down 8 points, that you're able to have balance.
Second and 7 as Cuevas, the tight end, splits all the way out. And they bring the receivers in. Simpson has to step up, launches downfield. Oh, and it's batted away at the last possible moment by Jalen Kilgore, or else Jeremy Bernard may have been strutting across the goal line.
And Jalen Kilgore got beat across his face on a post, but the recovery speed and able to tip this thing away. This is an unbelievably athletic play. Watch him climb the ladder and knock that down. Or you're absolutely right, Joe. That's going to be a walk-in score for Alabama.
A game of inches. 3rd down and 7. Simpson, he pumps, then he strikes, and he gets it complete to Bernard, and it's a first down tie.
And just the poise by Ty Simpson. He's been doing this all year on the critical down and distances. 3rd down. No quarterback in the conference is throwing more completions. They're throwing for more yards, and the first window not open that time, waiting for Bernard to break 3, just keeps his cool in the pocket and delivers a strike.
A 13-yard reception by Bernard. For Alabama, first down. Miller straight ahead as he makes it out to the 43-yard line.
They need Jam Miller. He's I think their best combination of big and fast at 5'10", 220 pounds. When he sees a crease, he can explode. And they've had a couple good runs here early on this drive. They've got to keep that going.
Empty set for Simpson on 2nd and 4. Quickly turns to the slant, and it's incomplete as Bernard could not hold on, and Swain was there defensively.
Well, and that's the first drop of the season for Jeremy Bernard. The drops by Ryan Williams, very well documented. Good slant route. It's a good throw, good decision. It's usually a play Jeremy Bernard makes. Now Ty Simpson has had to deal with some hostile environments this year. On the road in Georgia, on the road in Missouri. I don't know if any of them has been as loud as this.
Take it in. Third and 4. Shallow cross to his tight end, and he's got it. Josh Cuevas, who had the touchdown on 4th down earlier. Remember, the one offensive touchdown. There was a really bobbled ball, tip ball, pick six to start the game for Bama.
Well, a nice route here by Josh Cuevas. This is called a whip route. He's going to look like he's running a drag inside. The linebacker, that time Johnson, tries to jump it. And then Cuevas puts his foot in the ground and gets back outside. Good, accurate throw right at the sticks. Gives them a fresh set of downs.
Coming up on 7 minutes to play. Daniel Hill, as he takes advantage of the block, and at 244 pounds, running downhill for a tied first down.
I want you to see the center, Parker Brailsford, and his athleticism on this last play. He's pulling to get to the outside. He was able to get a kick-out block. It really helped spring that thing free.
11-yard run by Hill. That is the longest run of the game. The clock ticks down, and Bama tries to tie this game. Here's Ryan Williams in space, a stiff arm, and then an extra effort by Ryan Williams, and that will be a first down. Well done by Williams.
Well, we talked about him being the most explosive player in this offense. It's just a little bubble, and you got a tight end out in front blocking, just putting him one-on-one with DQ Smith. And I think the superpower of Ryan Williams is just how sudden he is. He's so explosive. When he has the ball in his hands, everybody holds their breath. He's one play away from taking it to the house.
Give credit to the true freshman tight end Caleb Edwards for his effort downfield. 3 straight first downs now for Bama. Simpson sets up the screen. Here's Daniel Hill with blockers in front as he is met and taken down by Okoronkwo.
He's made a bunch of plays in the pass game, and Ryan Grubb told us that for a big guy, he's got incredibly soft hands. We've seen him make some plays out wide on scramble plays, breaking tackles. That time, they set up the screen behind Cam Dewberry. And the true sophomore Hill, he's getting it done, not just running it, but he's played a bigger part in this game, I think, catching the ball.
He's going to take a break as Jam Miller comes in. This will be the 10th play of this critical drive for Alabama to answer back after the turnover and a touchdown run by Sellers. And now 2nd and 5 for Ty Simpson. Simpson checks down to Miller. Miller gets around Cuevas, and Miller lowers the shoulders and makes a statement as Alabama's on the go.
Yeah, he ran right through Peyton Williams that time outside. And this drive is starting to look like the drives we've seen all season. Owning the football, owning possession, bleeding the clock. They came into this thing with a time of possession of 33 minutes and 36 seconds a game, second best in the conference. Finally, Alabama's starting to look like what we've seen all year.
Play action. Simpson. He's going to tuck and run. Simpson inside the 10-yard line.
Good awareness. That's been one area he's struggled on plays where he gets to the outside and he's tried to throw the football when he should just run and get what he can. And this time on the bootleg, maybe a receiver out in the flat. You got Parker all the way out there. Look at 74 blocking against Brian Thomas to try and give Simpson the edge. Buys him the time. Put this thing now inside the 10-yard line.
Simpson on 2nd and 3. Here's Miller out of the backfield. Made a man miss inside the 5 and then taken down at the 2. It is 1st and goal, Alabama.
And that is a good tackle by DQ Smith because South Carolina's blitzing. Ty Simpson's hot, and he finds his answer out in the flat to Jam Miller. Someone's just got to make a tackle. Bakari Swain not able to get it done right there, but DQ Smith in his 42nd start makes a big stop here.
Progressive Pylon Cam, here's your view as he is taken down at the 2-yard line. Double tight ends as they shift Cuevas and Edwards to the left side. Miller is met and tackled for a loss. That was J.R. Johnson. Simpson.
And he just absolutely shoots the gap. Cam Dewberry's trying to climb up to him, but he's just not going to get there in time. Here he is. Dewberry's trying to get this block. He's just way too fast in the crease. Really good instincts that time. Getting a big TFL on Jam Miller.
Clayton White's defense has 6 tackles for loss against Alabama. 2nd and goal.
Jeremy Bernard lined up in the backfield. This is an area where they like to hand him the football.
2nd and goal, Simpson. Here is Bernard, and there is the end zone.
Really nice play design here by the offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, and they put Jeremy Bernard in motion. They're just going to run him on a little flat route and try to clear everything out to the left side. Just doing this. He's going to wiggle here and come underneath for the score.
And now Alabama will have their first 2-point attempt conversion of the season, and it's to tie the game on the road at South Carolina. Can they do it? They shift Daniel Hill over. He takes the direct snap. It's a trick play to the end zone. Simpson's got it to Cuevas. Hill shifts over. Simpson gets it back. Cuevas hauls it in. 22-22. Deuces everywhere. We got drama.
And they faked it to number 2 that time. Ryan Williams in the slot coming around. Everyone's thinking this is going to be a reverse to him. And it was Ty Simpson that holds on to it. He's coming this way. Cuevas just works his way into the flat. It's a really good play design on a 2-point attempt. And we are all knotted up in Columbia. Do not go anywhere.
Ready to roar down there in Baton Rouge. Remember, the undefeated Texas A&M Aggies still to come right here on ABC against LSU. The Aflac trivia question. Which program has the most home wins at night in the last 20 seasons?
Death Valley is a tough place to go. I know that. We lost there as the #1 team in the country back in 1997 at night. Not fun.
Good Hands Play is brought to you by Allstate.
Well, going back to Lenora Sellers here, avoiding sacks. He's just been making those superhuman plays. Getting away from Deontay Lawson here, rolling out to his right. Kelby Collins can't bring him down. It hasn't so much been the big, long touchdown passes, even though he has the nice one to Nick Harbor. I think his best plays have been these ones. Avoiding the negative plays. That's something he's been doing really his entire career. But in this game specifically, I think that's been the difference for Lenora Sellers.
Offside was called on the kicking team there, Alabama. So it'll be South Carolina's ball to start this drive at the 30-yard line. Of course, the 2-minute timeout is coming up. South Carolina still has 2 timeouts. Tied up 22 apiece. Fuller goes ahead and is stacked up by Big Tim Keenan.
Going to have the 2-minute timeout to discuss if you're South Carolina. 2 timeouts in your back pocket still. Trying to get into field goal range. See if we can steal this win.
Can the #4 team in the country stay pretty here in Columbia? Down to field level. Aflac trivia answer. We asked which program has the most home wins at night in the last 20 seasons. You know what happens in Death Valley at night, and we will see if Texas A&M finds that out when they play at LSU in moments here on ABC. But here's the situation here. 2-minute timeout coming off of it. South Carolina with the ball. Unranked. Been struggling. They found themselves in the second half. Alabama had a comeback down 8, a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion. 2nd and 9, Lenora Sellers. Flag is down as he's chased and nearly tripped up by Overton, but goes downfield, and it's incomplete, looking for Hunt.
Well, a wild sequence there. A little bit of a flinch up front from Alabama.
Offside. Defense, number 23. In the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Lenora Sellers obviously knew he had a free play that time on James Smith. Now, if you're South Carolina, to get into field goal range for William Joyce, his season long is 49 yards against South Carolina State, which means you have to get somewhere close to the 32-yard line if you're Lenora Sellers to give him a good opportunity.
2nd and 4. Work to be done before that. Here is Sellers, and he's wrapped up by Tim Keenan. Ball may have come out right at the end there. Now they're ruling him down, but you can see Alabama arguing for it. And it is a turnover. As Deontay Lawson
on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Alabama.
Watch the wrestling match with Tim Keenan at 320 pounds and Lenora Sellers, and Lawson was quick to be right on it.
It was Tim Keenan who made the contact initially, and he's in there ripping with his hands. You see Deontay Lawson ripping at it as well. It seems the ball does come out, and Tim Keenan doesn't even know he's on it. He's literally sitting, laying on the football. Deontay Lawson's yelling at him like, dude, the ball's underneath.
Incredible play by Deontay Lawson to realize the situation.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. The previous play is under video review.
And I think the ball came out before Lenora Sellers' right arm and hit the ground. I think this is going to be a turnover for Alabama. Could not have come up with a bigger play in a bigger moment from a guy in Tim Keenan who, remember, missed the first 3 games. He's a team captain, he's a leader, and he's one of their biggest playmakers. You can't make a bigger play than that right there.
Listen, we know what you saw, but let's get extra eyes on this. Our rules expert, Matt Austin. Matty, what do you got?
Yeah, Joe, I agree with Jesse. I think that the ball came out before a knee or elbow or anything hit. So I do think this call is going to be upheld, and it's going to be Alabama's ball.
Now, as for Deontay Lawson, he sees Keenan wrestling with Sellers, trying to pull on him. He gets the extra arm in there.
After video review, the ruling on the field is upheld. First down, Alabama.
As big of a play as you can make. Deontay Lawson, the forced fumble. Keenan's laying on top of it, and Bama's in business at the 38-yard line.
Turnover margin has been so big for Alabama all year. 3rd best in the nation in that. Remember, pick 6 in the first quarter of this game by the defense, and they force a massive fumble here late now, giving the football back to Ty Simpson on South Carolina's 38-yard line.
Jam Miller motions back in. Minute 39 to play. Can number 4 Alabama get through this pressure cooker on the road? Jam Miller weaving his way through the South Carolina defense to the 31-yard line.
And one thing that Ty Simpson and offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb and everybody on offense in the huddle have to be talking about is ball security. Everybody who has the ball, 2 hands on it. They are putting themselves in position to potentially kick a game-winning field goal. You cannot put the ball on the ground.
There's Connor Talty, a redshirt sophomore from Chicago. Sat behind the Groza winner, Nicholson, a year ago. And now he could put himself in position to be a hero here. Simpson, as he gets it complete, and that's a big reception that time by Rico Scott.
Well, and a lot of confidence in quarterback Ty Simpson here in this situation. There are a lot of offenses that would just hand it off, try to keep the football centered to help out the field goal kicker. But Alabama, allowing their quarterback to throw it to put them in position.
A timeout used by South Carolina. We'll take a quick break and see how this plays out when we return. Joe Tessitore, Jesse Palmer, Katie George back with you. This is what happened moments ago as Deontay Lawson was able to strip the ball away from Lenora Sellers with 1:39 to play. And now that man on the left, Connor Talty, will he get a chance to try to win it for Alabama? An attempt would be his first career go-ahead 4th quarter field goal attempt. Simpson. Here's Ryan Williams trying to spin free, but he is wrapped up and brought back by Swain.
It's a great tackle that time in the open field, and Bama still needs some yards here. You were talking about Talty at kicker. He's 7 for 7 this year on field goals, 40 yards or less, but only 2 of 6 41 yards or more. And where they're at right now, this would be about a 42-yarder. Percentages have not been good for him or Kalen DeBoer, so still some pressure, still some work to go here, I think, if you're Alabama.
It is a lonely job of the final moments of preparation when it's just striking that ball into the net, taking a glance over at the field, looking at clock and situation and distance, and locking in. And that is the case for Connor Talty. Meanwhile, the scene here at Williams-Brice is wild because most of the students have packed in down low, hoping to celebrate a massive upset. And then the fumble happened. No timeouts remain for South Carolina. 46 seconds to play in regulation. There's a slant, and it's incomplete. Rico Scott could not corral it.
We saw Jeremy Bernard drop a slant earlier in this game. That time it's Rico Scott. Obviously, the Ryan Williams drop as well. This is a tight window throw. And that's just one Rico Scott has got to be able to make. Drops have really hurt Alabama now in the passing game. And so for this play call here, 3rd and long, I think one thing you've got to be thinking about if you're Ryan Grubb is how do we get the ball centered in the middle of the field to help out our kicker, Connor Talty. If we can't pick up the first, can we at least put it in better position?
Jeremy Bernard is lined up in the backfield at quarterback before they utilize the timeout. What a wild fourth quarter we've had after South Carolina rallied all the way back. And now you see Connor Talty, redshirt sophomore, kicker for Alabama, grabbed a hold of this job this year, but for the first time, a pressure kick. A potential game winner.
That last time out on the field before the timeout, it was Jeremy Bernard in at Wildcat. You just wonder if he was just going to catch that snap, just try to run to the left. He's back in the Wildcat again right now.
So Jeremy Bernard with a direct snap. They fake it to Simpson, and Bernard breaks free. Jeremy Bernard! How about it? A 25-yard touchdown run by Jeremy Bernard.
This is wild because he's going to fake the reverse to Ty Simpson. He gets out wide. He's one-on-one with DQ Smith. DQ Smith tries not to tackle him intentionally, thinking, hey, if we just let them score, we'll have an opportunity to get the ball back, maybe go down and seal it. Jeremy Bernard, if he just goes down in the field of play right there, that's ball game.
Let's look at his foot here. Does he stay in right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. What balance, what body control from the Swiss Army knife of this offense, Jeremy Bernard.
But you hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
If he just goes out of bounds, South Carolina has no more timeouts left. They're not going to get a chance to get the ball back, give a chip shot field goal to win. Now, the North Sellers may get one more chance.
As Talty adds the extra point. 34 seconds remaining. No timeouts for South Carolina. Listen, it was choppy and it was a struggle offensively for most of this game for Alabama. Big players play their best in big moments.
No question. I go back to what Kalen DeBoer told you, Katie, and I at the start of the year when we were getting ready to watch them play Florida State. He told us, I know we have a better football team this year because I know we can handle adversity better than our team could a year ago. They've got leadership in this locker room on both sides of the football, and they've certainly faced a lot of adversity. It hasn't always been pretty, but the pick six defensively, the big turnover on that last drive by Tim Keenan, and that big-time run just now from Jeremy Bernard. Ty Simpson throughout this entire game battling. This leadership has really helped them keep an edge and fight through the adversity.
Deontay Lawson was a big part of that vocal message after the upset against Florida State, saying it takes more than just showing up on Saturdays. He showed up at the right time with the forced fumble with 1:39 to play. The squib kick is fielded awkwardly by Harbor down near the goal line, and that's where the coverage unit meets him inside the 10.
Tough sledding now for the South Carolina offense. Fans know it. No timeouts left. Backed up. You need 7 points to send this thing into OT. And again, the offensive line, that has been a major issue for them all season long. And you just know the front three, front four from Alabama are going to be pinning their ears back. And you just expect Bama to play some big soft zone coverage in behind it.
Here's Sellers as he goes underneath to his tight end Hunt. Remember, no timeouts remaining.
That's a great job by Bama converging and getting a tackle in the field of play. It's now wasting precious seconds and taking them off the clock.
It was 22-14 South Carolina. And with 2:16 to play in the game, Simpson connected with Bernard for the touchdown, and then Cuevas for the 2-point conversion. And then moments ago, Jeremy Bernard with a 25-yard touchdown run. What a comeback by Bama in the last 2:16. Sellers. And he is brought down as Keon Keeley, who's taken much more of a central role, puts it into it. An absolute thriller here at Williams-Brice Stadium.
You got to give Bama so much credit. Mental toughness, again, wasn't pretty. Could they keep their edge after beating four straight ranked SEC opponents without a bye week? The first team in the SEC history to do that. And the leadership and the playmakers stepped up in this game when they needed it most, and they survived here in Columbia.
Katie's with Coach.
Thanks, Tess. Coach DeBoer, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. What makes you most proud of the way your team was able to do so tonight?
It's exactly that, and they're going to keep playing. And, you know, as long as they keep that mindset, you know, we're going to be competitive and have a chance in every single game. And we were great in the critical moments. There were some things that we didn't do well throughout the game, but we were great in the critical moments, and that was at the end of the game here.
Deontay Lawson comes up with the biggest play of the game. What can you say about that shot that he was able to come up with?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, just, again, guys have been in the program, a guy like Deontay. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of TK. Those guys are, you know, heart and soul. I mean, they're captains. They've been here forever. These are the moments that they've worked so hard for. But I'm proud of the coaching staff. Continue to just keep these guys heading in the right direction. I'm proud of our players for continuing to fight.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Said we were great in the critical moments. We'll take you through those critical moments as South Carolina had an 8-point lead in the fourth quarter. And then Ty Simpson, who many had in front of a Heisman poll this week. It's Bernard. They had to have this for the 2-point conversion. Cuevas, that tied it up. There was the big turnover and then the big run.
And I think this is really good. Maybe something Bama needed as a team after making it through that gauntlet these last 4 games. Sometimes you just need a wake-up call and just a reminder that in this conference, in this league, nothing comes easy.
No.
If you look at their schedule the rest of the way, LSU at home, Oklahoma at home, you got to go on the road at Auburn, and they'll be favored in all those games, but it's a good reminder that they've got to bring their A game each and every week. If they do that, I really do believe the sky is the limit for this Alabama team.
Bama moves themselves to 7-1. Number 4 survives on the road. For Katie and Jesse, I'm Joe Tessitore, inviting you to enjoy the rest of your night with Texas A&M and LSU. Bama did it. Big drama here in Columbia, South Carolina, as we send you back to our college football scoreboard studio with Kevin and Booger. Gentlemen, take it away.